farther away from the...
No, my computer needs to be restarted. Hey, everybody. It's Lisa. I'm my mama. It's Mama Denise. So I'm hoping that this doesn't lag too bad because it's lagging really bad. And I'll just go live from my phone. So let me know if it's lagging. We can sit back, Mom.
Okay. Is your microphone indication, is it loud enough?
Yeah, it's fine. Can you guys hear us?
Hey, Heather.
And she knows Heather already. So this is the bad bit, or has it kind of caught up now? I feel like it's caught up. Let me know. I will if I have to. Just let some folks get in. Waved her. Oh, you're so cute. Yeah.
Okay, I'll consider myself that.
All right. So has it picked up?
Yeah.
It caught up. Perfect. Okay. So this is Mama Denise's very first like live YouTube. She goes live on Facebook, but it's her very first live on YouTube. So super excited for this. And I know I talk a lot about childhood and everything and all the healing that happened as a result of that. But I wanted Mama to come on tonight and talk about healing. And because Mom has had an intense life. So I don't know why that's there, but we're just going to leave it there for right now. I don't want to reload. It's asking me to reload this. No. Did I freeze? Here. No, I didn't freeze. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. We're having technical difficulties because I'm upstairs instead of downstairs in my computer. So it is what it is. So we're just going to not do this. Okay. Hey, Triple G. Hey, Brandy. So, okay. So, hey, Lee. Everyone's filing in. I'm so excited. And if it's lagging a little, hopefully the chat window wouldn't open. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. Like, acting crazy. I almost want to like shut her down and put it back up, but I hate to do that. Anyway, so my very intense life, but I wanted to kind of talk, we talk a lot about healing. Mom, you don't know yet.
Right.
We talk a lot about healing, and we talk a lot about healing from old wounds of emotional trauma throughout your life. How to go through that through, Reiki and meditation and things like that. And really, though, when God's love to really heal us, looking at what it was and then realizing that living in that same situation now, and then going through that whole process. So I like really off the cuff.
Yeah, it is. But it's okay. It just is.
That's what I do. So I guess for you, being the elder generation.
Thank you. She put that so well.
Hey, Tawanda. Being the elder generation, your perspective as you look at those of us that, are coming up now, or just perspective in general, what is your perspective on healing? Like, how important is it to really go in deep and heal those wounds?
You truly if you don't. You will only exist. And I have met a number of people in my life, some older than me, who when I stand within 5 minutes, I realize this person is like 70 some years old, and all they've done is in life. So when the storms came, it's like, let me hang on to the boat and okay, fine, the boat's good. But they seem to have no oars in the water. They are in their life at all. They're only being affected by it and reacting to it. So if you don't realize that you have to heal, you're going to be by the things that happen to you. You're going to forever see life and yourself through that lens. And if that doesn't change, my goodness, there are so many times now that I go, oh my Lord, they are stuck. They're stuck and they don't realize they're stuck. So yeah, you've got to heal, and healing is that. Healing is such a process. It's like forgiving. I'm like, okay, well then something else would pop up, and it's like, ooh, those feelings are back. It's like, okay, well, wait a minute, because I'm in process, and we are so many leap. When you get that first piece of healing, that's just it. You're just barely pulling that skin off that onion. It's one layer, and here I am. That many years later, I think I actually I sort of sum up my life this way. I've survived 2 major world wars and another major battle. So my childhood, World War II, was called my marriage. The other major battle was fighting for my life health-wise, because seriously, we are not wired in a constant state of fear, in a constant state of unforgiveness, in a state of anger, or any of that. We're not wired to do that. That's not how our, and if you do that continuously, something is going to break down.
Yeah. So I think I've mentioned this before. Mom was in the hospital for almost an entire year after a very major surgery. Oh, it's picked.
That's what it says.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, guys, that it's pixelating. I don't want to like stop it again because I'd have to restart the computer. A year, and that was actually the year after we lost my father. So it was very traumatic. But Mom's journey, I mean, her to fight for her life more than once. Hello, young king. Hello, Phyllis. Her having to fight for her life for literally, there was more than one time we did not think she was going to make it. And this was as a result, you were like the veteran of 2 wars. Talks about for her childhood being her first war. And I know a lot of you guys, we talk a lot about how suffered major abuse. Hello, Lady Rose. We suffered major abuse, and you want to hear like your childhood was
yeah. You could do something this week and it was funny, and next week you were wondering if you were gonna you got. You just never knew. You walked on eggshells the entire time, and yet I had, by the age 11, enough anger at what was going on. It was my mother, my older sister, and myself were the major targets in that family. I kind of think abusers, after a while, enough targets, or they're going to run out of energy because they can only abuse so many people, right? I mean, it takes a lot of energy. But so it was like the 2 of us, and I think because my looked more like my mom and I looked more like him, and so he didn't like either one of them, himself or my mom, I guess. But I gotta tell you just how justice works here, because he tried to deny that I was his child, and I came out like his twin. And I'm like, yeah, okay. When I found that out, I'm like, yeah, because people would say, they call him Brother Benny. Brother Benny, all you can do is stick a mustache, look just like you. And I'm thinking, so I'm not yours, right? And so, I mean, as a kid, but I perfectly remember one very vivid day when Lynn and I were upstairs, and we were scared to actually let him know we were in the house because he came home angry about something. Started up with my mom, and this is back in the days we had a coal furnace in the basement. We had to shovel coal for that was how we heated our house, right? And it was our responsibility to keep that going. And so we're sitting upstairs in the room over the kitchen. They're in the kitchen, and he's threatening to go down and get the poker and kill her. And she's pleading, please don't do this. Please don't. Please. I have no idea who she didn't have the eggs ready. I don't know what it was. It was, something major for that person. And I'm sitting there and we are just so scared. Is this moment. We're 11, maybe 10, 11 years old. And we're hearing our father threaten to kill our mother. We stop it. And I'm sitting there and I said, we've got to go downstairs. We can't just sit here. We can't do that, Didi, because he's really going to beat us if we go down. There was the back and forth. There was a whispering. And I said, I'm going. No, please don't go. She really thought that I wouldn't survive that. Right. When I got to the bottom of the stairs, I glared. I'm talking glared. If looks could drop dead that second, I glared at him and didn't say a word. I wasn't thinking. It was purely, all right, you've got to do it in front of me. And I'm going to get between the two of you, but whether I can stop you or not. And it's like I'm glaring at him, and my mom and family nicknamed Didi. And she said, Didi, go back upstairs. I didn't move. I just glared at him. Anything to me, which is a shock. I guess it was the idea that somebody was actually knowing what you were threatening to do, Mr. Usher of the church. I'm like, here we go. Okay. Anyways, and I just glared even longer. I wanted to move. And he stood there. I guess he probably didn't know what to do at that moment. She said, Didi, go upstairs. Without moving my eyes, I said, Mama, are you sure? Yeah, it'll be okay. I went back upstairs. That stopped the whole thing. And yet this was our life.
The reason why if you think you're right, exactly, Tawanda. Tawanda says it's like if you think you bad, jump.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm sharing this with you, and why I share these other stories that we have, and why I encourage people to share, is because we can talk about this now.
Mm-hmm.
And because we've come from a place of healing, we recognize that was then. We no longer have to live in the fear. We no longer have pain.
Mm-hmm.
And we're able to heal from it and heal to our life purpose. That is a powerful thing. And I'm not this out here to denigrate anybody, but what cannot be spoken cannot be healed.
Right.
And when you on these types of situations, whatever your pain is, whatever has been done to you, because certainly an 11 and 12-year-old girl did not ask for this, and neither did Grandma Kathy.
Right.
But when we can shed the light on it, that opens it up so that God can come in and shed his light, his love, and make us whole. I mean, to grow up like that. And I've told you guys bits of my childhood and how, wow, it's really pixelated. How traumatic and fear-filled that it was. And I've told them about how Dad basically put me in the matriarchal position, and I had no idea that's what was happening.
Oh, neither did I.
until I actually began to heal. And later on, this was after my experience with the narc.
Yeah.
With my ex-husband. I shouldn't just call him just the narc.
But it is what it is.
You see here, you see where I get it. My mama.
Look, a toad is a toad, and if he's a toad, that's what he's gonna be. I don't know what.
Mama vacillates sometimes between a little lower vibration. I did not know my mama knew about tea. We all something here. But this process of my mother dealt with this actively for the first, I was 35, so first 50 some years of your life.
Yes, I was in my early 50s by the time I was completely
okay.
And I noticed that's a turning point in a lot of people's lives. For me, from my perspective, he picked up where my father left off.
Well, you got married at 16.
Married at 16. Yep. And looking for the love of my father.
We done talked about that numerous times here. I want y'all to hear that because this is wisdom sitting right here. This is wisdom. And this relationship took lots of healing.
Yes.
But she went through 50 plus years. And when she got married, but at 16 years old, when she got married, I'm 50. So this is a different time. She was looking for the love. Oh, I hate that this thing is pixelating. She was looking for the love of her father. Just like I was looking for the love of mine. Even though I had and my father loved me, that little girl still wanted daddy's complete validation woman.
Which he could not give you because he himself was not validated as a person.
Now y'all know. So y'all sit here and say, this is where the wisdom.
And I learned this a lot. A lot of this I learned. I can tell you. Okay, I was raised in a rules-based church and knew nothing about relationship. Taught, like God is playing whack-a-mole. He's just waiting for you to stick your head up, make a mistake, and pop, I'm gonna get that one right there, because that's what my daddy did. And we were taught that's because it was all rules. You had to earn his love, and his love was very conditional. Very conditional. Love was very conditional.
You want to sit back, Mama?
Sure.
Okay.
And so that's what I believed. After getting married to someone who, major narc. Okay, I'm talking, could write the book. We would, because we came from two different religions, that we would raise our children. We would find something that the two of us would be happy with. Well, it was a lie. Dude was lying. Anyways, when it came to that, he didn't want to go to church. So I'm going to tell you, that was the best thing I think that ever happened to me. I'm not down in church. I'm not whatever. There's a lot that could be improved on a lot of different levels. But by not going, developed a very deep, close, intimate relationship with God. And when I finally realized, close to 50, he actually loved me.
God loved her.
Love me. God loved me. He wasn't looking for he was looking for my relationship with him. That's what he wanted. Hold on 1 second, Mama.
I know it's freezing. I'm watching it on my phone. Okay. All right. I'm watching it on my phone as I'm monitoring. So go ahead, Mama. So because you were no longer underneath the rules of a rule-based religion.
Yes.
You were then able to purely find the unconditional love
Right.
of God.
Right. And I was still in the midst of, I was still married, obviously. At least that's what the state of Wisconsin called it.
Mother.
No. Anyways, yeah. So I was able then to develop a tight relationship. I'll tell you how strongly I felt about it. When the kids were little, it was very important to me. I'm learning more about the full scope now. I, as a mother, am entrusted with these children. These children came through. I gave them was part of giving them their earth suit. Their care is entrusted to me for a period of time. And I felt it was, so I had to find, because I knew you were supposed to honor your parents. I thought, well, my goodness, I'm trying to figure out what would I honor, what would I say good about them? Okay, thank you, Lord, that they taught me as a little one that you were real. I was grateful that I knew that God was real there, and so I thought, well, that's a pass on to my children, even if there is nothing else that I can give them, because I really felt very inept. There was nothing for me to give. We're trying to make sure everybody makes it through the day, just alive, intact, and no emergency room. And so when the kids started getting, whatever, and I talked about church. Oh no, he didn't want to go, wasn't ready, didn't have clothes to wear. No, wasn't ready. And
Okay,
I thought,
the positive side.
The positive, I ain't ready for the positive. I haven't finished with this one. Determined that I would teach them at home, which is what I did. I will study. We had prayer. We did it every day. We would pray on their way pray on the way out the door, going to school. However, I told them it was, so they couldn't tell Daddy that this is what we did, and they didn't, which was wonderful because we had our own little church right there in the house. But it was important enough to me to do that, even though I had been threatened with my life if I taught them to believe the way that I believed.
Right. The healing process, right? And this relationship so much, having relationship with Creator, having relationship with God, because that can never be taken, no matter if someone tells you can't pray, or you can't do this, or you can't go to church, these things. The understanding that God is God, no matter if you're going to a church or not, or go to temple or mosque or wherever it is you're going, knowing that God is God no matter what. And that's a relationship with you, and that He loves you unconditionally.
Mm-hmm.
That He's not looking to punish you or torment you or anything like that, that He's not that kind of a God. Grasping the concept of unconditional love is, to me, the most paramount thing a parent can transfer to their children.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the most paramount thing that we can transfer to ourselves.
Yes. Because
our mind has been programmed with the religious beliefs. And our mind has been programmed in any type of abusive situation. Your mind has, or even not, it doesn't even have to be to this level of abuse or what some of you guys went through. Our mind just in the world is programmed with different things of why we can't be loved.
Exactly.
Or why we can't be successful, deserve to be happy.
Right.
From the color of our skin to our gender to whether or not we weigh too much to
your level of intelligence,
your level of education,
exactly,
where you were born. Like, the world is been designed at this point, or it operates to keep you down and keep you from really awakening to the point that you recognize there's more to it than, and that you recognize that Spirit, that God, the eternal, infinite, divine God, you
with a purpose.
With a purpose.
I was talking to someone on the phone yesterday, and we got into some sort of a discussion lines, and I was like, you know, I've had discussions with people before. Look, you're not just here to suck air, right? I mean, you're here. And if that's all you're going to choose to do all your life, you need to just go on to your next state, because we need all the fresh air we can get down here and all the resources. What's your reason for being here?
Right.
But you can't even start on that reason until you realize you are worth. You are worth the real you. Let me tell you what God did for me through all of this 50 years of crap. He protected the real me. And I'll tell you what my coping mechanism was. I had built this fortress-like area around, like a castle, but there weren't many rooms. There was just this one little dark space. There was no door and no window, and nobody but me knew where I was. Every moment of every day, I had to be whoever was needed to be in that place. I had to be the daughter my mother needed, which was to help her, that my father needed, which was to try to stay clear, the sister to my siblings, to try to make sure. I mean, you know, you feel like you're in charge of trying to help everybody. And then to be the whoever my husband needed at any given moment, and the Lord only knew what was coming next with that one. I was never me. And when I walked away from that, I didn't even know who I was.
Who you were.
It took me fully 3 years to come out of that little room. I look back on that process. And when I first stepped, I could open the door. There was no handle on the outside because nobody was coming in, right? And I stood back against the wall, kind of like this, going, okay, I don't know if it's safe to be out here because I don't trust the rest of you guys either. You know, and the first time someone back into the little room, I just like, that's where my space is. I'm just right here.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of us do, is because narcissists are created, right? We've talked about that before, is that you could have gone to become a narcissist putting those walls up and not really knowing who you were, but God saved you from that. And you had, and because at least you were shown and taught about God on some level, you were actually able to just and be and protect your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you had to get out, it's like, you know, how if you've ever heard anybody talk about after they've been released from prison, it's you have to learn how to live.
Yes.
You have to literally learn how to live. And so then now in the healing process, a lot of people, a lot of us that are going to hear this or are hearing this right now are just, there's a healing process that needs to be done. We're just discovering ourselves. And I think if we looked at some of the tweaking, we would realize that we're making them not out of really that it's something that we necessarily want to do, but we're making those choices based on how we truly view ourselves and if we're truly lovable.
Right.
We make, when you're in an unhealed state, we make decisions based upon we don't feel we're truly lovable because we have healed the wounds and we have not truly come to an understanding of unconditional love for ourselves.
So much I had to forgive myself for, and I know you and I have talked about this. It's like the hardest person is you. And you may have more of a grasp, I'm sure you do, than your brothers. How much I agonized over I couldn't protect each of you guys, and had to really forgive myself for bringing you guys into this situation, even though I didn't even know I had created the situation when I honestly, I outgrew that man as a person. By the time I was 17, I was already more mature than him.
Right.
But I'm what I'm saying, forgive myself.
Yes. And
there were times when I did. I mean, I physically stepped between him and your brother to stop what was going on and take the beating myself, but it wasn't enough. That shouldn't have even been the case in the first place.
Right. But if you've suffered it as a child, we still need to forgive ourselves.
Yes.
Because our eternal self doesn't really know the difference. Like, you're in a child's body, but it knows this shouldn't be something that should be happening. So I need to get out of it, but you don't have any method to get out of it.
Right.
So you need to forgive yourself at every level before you can even forgive the other person.
Yes.
And then, though, I think perspective, as you were going through those 3 years of like learning who you were, I felt like there were decisions you were making that was like creating like drama. And because now I get, because you unhealed state and learning how to be and just really discovering. But I think in an unhealed state, we create drama in our lives and we create havoc, even though we think is good for us or what feels good or what's going to make us happy.
Part of that process, I honestly believe, is from the parents saying, do this because I said so. Therefore, never being taught the process of proper decision. Well, I go through having someone else tell me, do this because I said so. They're the ones in charge. You're the kid. Into the marriage where he is making all the decisions. Therefore, I didn't have any self-discipline. All my discipline came from outside.
Ooh, that's good. I've been trying to figure out how to say this.
Yep.
So without self-discipline, we go around making decisions. Think about your kids. When they don't have any self-discipline, I know y'all that have children know what I'm talking about. Self-discipline, you know what I'm talking about, because we got to discipline them. So with no self-discipline, we do things that we think it make us feel real good. But we don't have the discernment because we haven't had the self-discipline to assess a situation.
Right.
To really see, is this for my higher purpose? Is this really going to benefit me?
Right.
We don't have that ability to do so because we do not have the self-discipline because we were never allowed to have it. And you could not have having to hide abuse.
Right.
You can't talk about it. You don't learn how to express your true feelings. Not have any self-discipline by having other people like you had making all the decisions for you. That lack of self-discipline can also, if you're in a very religious, tight, ultra super strict upbringing, that you can't do this. You can't blink without, I'm going to hell. I mean, that just it cripples you.
Well,
it cripples you. And that's a whole nother level of learning about yourself. And do you think that there was for you, but I know for a lot of people, do you think there was a time where you honestly didn't even want to know yourself? Like you kind of didn't want to look.
I didn't know that there was another part of me until I got free. I didn't realize that I had been hiding. The real me was. And then, but the real me started to emerge, which was part of the leaving him process, because I came close in February, but the December before that, I was like that close to having a complete nervous, and I knew that. And I'd gotten to the point of, I don't care. I didn't care. It was when I left that February, my sister, your Aunt Charlene, she's working, and she said, um, Denise, do you know what the statistics are for people surviving, walking away from this kind of a, and I no, and it doesn't matter because if I stay, I'm already dead inside. So what difference does it make if I know it's a win-win for me? You know, I was there. I was
right. So what I want people get to is how do we grow past this? Because it's not even getting past it. It's growing. I don't know if anybody has any questions, and I'm monitoring the chat here and there. If you guys have any questions, and Raina has said, when you were talking about being in the room, like being in your own like room with no doors, no windows, the same feeling sounds. She didn't even know how to cross the street. It was like she didn't know how to come out of that. Your process for you even start, like how did that process for healing even begin for you?
Well, I think the first thing I didn't know, I thought I was doing a real good job, pat myself on the back because I thought I was loving that man with the love of the Lord. And when I walked away, I realized I actually hated him. I had to realize that I hated him and I didn't want to go further into bitterness. And my relationship with the Lord was so tight at that, he like step one was, he told me to pray that he would bless my ex. I was like, what? I want you to pray that I'll bless his socks off. And I went, Lord. He said, Denise, okay, I'm all day.
So hello, Deanna. So step one is forgiveness.
Yes. And that was a process because I said it and didn't mean it. I did it out of obedience. And I did it. I'm telling you, I did it with gritted teeth. I said, okay, let's bless his socks off. I did that for probably about a week as I was driving home from work. And then it sort of relaxed a little bit the next week, but I kept doing it every day. That got to be. And then finally, after about 4 weeks, it was like, I'm just asking you to bless his socks off, Lord. I mean, I actually meant it at this point.
Right. So it's that discipline. And here we go, right? She's had to do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
So healing is supposed to be done every day. It isn't that you just come to a session or you just one day, I'm like, okay, and then it's over with. It doesn't work like that. It's line upon line, precept upon precept. You got to continue it every day till you become enough where your mind hears it and it gets so far down in your spirit that you finally believe it and you finally can let the pain, because if you continue to allow this person to inflict pain on you by holding on to the hurt, you're going to continually be in this cycle of pain and you're going to continue to inflict pain on yourself at the end of the day and other people.
Well, I knew forgiveness necessary, and that's a choice that you make. And I guess the way I visualize it is that you make this choice because it's what you need to do, and the process is to have your feelings catch up with it, because your feelings don't catch up with your decision right away when you say it. You're still feeling those feelings.
Yeah.
And so when you're to the point, like there's an incident that I could relate that happened with my oldest son, which I won't go into detail, but for so many years, talk about it, I could barely get the words out because I would cry. I realized that some years later, I had gotten to the point I could report it like a news event.
Looking at it from a 30,000 foot view.
Yeah.
And that's that process of looking at the situation. So when we talk about doing, like, we talk about meditating and just allowing God to come in, and even to like I used to sit here, not on this couch, it's my new couch, living room, and I used to just sit with Creator. I just sit with the Spirit of the Lord. What is it? What are we going to work on today? Because I couldn't work on whatever we were going to work on tomorrow, and yesterday was gone. So what can we work on today? Just sitting and allowing the love of God to come in and the light of God to illuminate what is, and allowing myself to feel it, yet look through it and recognize I wasn't going through it at that moment. Because if you can get to the point where you're not going through it at that moment, you can take your spirit from up here, which is where you're supposed to be looking at it from, and then you can affect the healing. I'm not saying you forget it, because you don't forget the message. Just look at it from a completely different perspective of that happened in the past. I may have created some defense mechanisms to shield myself from it or to push the pain down. But once you just let the pain happen, I mean, I'll be crying a lot. That just happens, right? When you're going through a deep, like, digging up the root healing process is a lot. At least for me, it was a lot of tears. Not for you, but for me, it was a lot.
I think I know my process was different from yours.
Yeah. But
you were a lot more purposeful in what you were doing that way. I was still like the Energizer Bunny, taking care of mom, going to college.
Yeah, that's true.
Job, it was like it was keeping it rolling.
I had the time to do it.
Yeah.
Just allowing it, just looking at it and looking at it from an outside perspective, and you kind of look at it like, I'm not living this anymore. I'm not living it. So when you look at it and not have the reaction to it that you typically would, and recognize action, because for me, I would have physical reactions to things that would happen. And realizing I don't have to have the physical reaction through it, and then letting the love of God refill that space. Because whatever space is filled, once you get rid of the pain, it's got to get refilled with something else.
Right, because the laws of the universe won't allow a vacuum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what? When I knew forgiveness was correct, and I felt like, well, how can the forgiving him felt like I would have been saying, it's okay. Oh, okay. Well, he did it. Well, okay. No, I felt like I would have been letting him go. And I realized that the forgiveness wasn't for him. For me. And God does not expect us to forget the incident.
No.
He wants us to forget or leave or pain of it.
Yes.
And so when I started out, and I'll do this even now sometimes, when I start out and I've got to forgive somebody for something, I'll say, no, you got to see a forgetfulness in your backyard. I don't have one of those, so I'm going to need some help with this one, because I still have to be in contact with this person, and I'm going to be able to through what I feel like they just did. And a lot of times, you can keep going back and back and back in the generations and find out why other people like that. Honestly, there's got to be a level of,
well, that's a whole nother discussion.
It is
that generational,
and
or
people,
spirit residing in the generations.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this the other day too, because it used to really just fight. I would say, well, hurting people hurt people. Well, you know what? I was hurt too, but you didn't see me walking around with a cast iron skillet smashing somebody upside the head.
No, but we all hurt people in different ways. We don't realize that we're hurting them. And that,
but that was blatant. There was no denying it. It wasn't an accidental hurt.
Jesus.
Somebody.
Forgiving was letting him go. I never thought of it that way. Yes. And that would hinder letting go. It truly does. It really does. It releases you. It releases it releases the spiritual tie.
Yes.
It releases the spiritual tie that you have to the person. And not only just to the person, to to the feet that you're carrying or around with you, the residual energy you're still carrying with you, because you really are carrying baggage. And when I say you need to deplane and drop that baggage at the door before you try to get into another relationship.
Right.
You need to wash your clothes and, buy you some new ones too. But you got to get rid of what you had before so you're not carrying it into the rest of your life or into the next relationship.
Well, see, we all have different visuals of what this is, but our soul, I believe, is made of so many different layers. And those events, those interactions with people, they kind of put, like, imagine your soul like the leaves of like the pages of a book. And as you flip through it, marks, then that's just free, and it just flows freely. But interactions with people, good, bad, and ugly, gives you different things in the layer soul, and there are bookmarks at certain places, and if you don't get those bookmarks out, you're going to clog up the system.
I think it's like I didn't realize how achievement driven I was until I was dealing with the healing from and really going deep. I didn't realize that I was so achievement driven, and that the reason why I got married to him in the first place is because I was already off and I had to get married, because that's what we do before we're 50. Like, in my brain, not my mama's. Clearly, she intended y'all for. So if y'all got, daddies or uncles or something that you was thinking, don't bring it here. She ain't even trying.
I'm not saying I wouldn't do it at all. I'm just saying I ain't looking.
I need. He says, no, she ain't. Don't bring him around him, because he gonna get his feelings hurt, and then I gotta deal with two. Don't bring him here.
Well, look, if they can't handle that, then no, then don't bring them. I mean,
Mama.
Yeah. What?
She ain't got no attention.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm just being transparent here, just honest. I myself have a lot to bring to the table for any man, because I ain't gonna give him no quarter. I mean, he's not gonna be able to get away with anything, and what? See, y'all be telling me, well, what the right man? Yeah, well, okay. Well, when Mr. Right shows up, then we'll have a discussion.
You ain't even ready for Mr. Right.
No, Mr. Right ain't ready for me. That's why
she ain't ready for right now, right tomorrow.
I got too many things going on in my life.
No eggplant emoji. This is my mama. Y'all keep to yourselves. Don't be Deanna. My mama. Y'all stop. Okay, so Lisa a while back said you feel like other people do better than you can at this point in your journey. Lately, you're feeling blocked and tired. So I talked a little bit about why everybody's tired. You are a big hit, Mama. They're repeating Denise quotes. Denise quotes are being repeated.
Look, all I can say is it ain't easy being green.
A lot of us are feeling I know I am exhausted lately. Yeah. But there have been a number of different, what are those emojis? Oh, the nails. Okay. I gotta watch y'all. A number of spiritual. First of all, we're having an increased spiritual awakening, I believe,
no,
than we ever have before, and it is across religious lines.
Yes,
and the people that are truly, you're going to be in the timeout. Deanna, I'm not putting you in a timeout. Then you would this. And it's across all spiritual lines. And that people are coming just about relationship.
Yes.
Because of that what's happening. Also, though, we're also coming a year of government, if you will, and not in a tyrannical. I feel that we're coming into a government where all of us are supposed to be in our places.
Yes.
And right now, it's like if we everything is moving. I've said it before, at the speed of light, which is the speed of love, which is the speed of God. Everything is moving so fast. It's like we can do it, but our physical bodies are not
right.
Our mind is not accustomed to spirit moving and pouring out so quickly and so much. So we are going to feel. Are y'all being low vibrational, or y'all following along here? I track with Denise's non-dating.
I think Deanna's looking for wine or something. I thought somebody said
we looking
Deanna,
for some wine.
No, Deanna had sending her some wine for a timeout. So,
oh, y'all.
One that says in listen.
Okay.
I love y'all too. Thank you for the hearts.
Yo, when my mama launched her channel, we all gonna go on her channel. All going to your channel, mama. We gonna bring everybody over.
Okay. I'll be cooking up a whole lot of stuff.
She was cooking on her Facebook page. So that could be a real cool little live you do on your YouTube too.
Yeah.
Do it on. You could be talking while you're cooking.
Well, that's what I do.
Teaching while, you know what I'm saying? Like teaching while you're cooking.
Yeah. I'll try to get somebody to join in me because it's a lot easier this way than if you have to try to watch comments while you're stirring something.
Yeah,
you know
true,
what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. This is easier.
So anyway.
Well, I upload my videos, but they're not live on YouTube.
We'll talk about that. I'm a helper, y'all. So listen though. Because of the portals or the energies that are being poured out right now, and the spirit that's being poured out all over the earth, I really feel that that's why a lot of people are tired right now. And emotionally, mentally tired. I think that's also starting to get the kind of like, hey, I need to eat better. I need to take better care of my body.
Yeah.
A little bit this that's going, like we need to be able to withstand, not necessarily withstand per se, but our bodies and our mind to move with the move of God. We have to be able to process or handle the amount of spiritual power that's being poured out. That to me is just it's very tremendous as to why I'm just experiencing this.
Yeah,
it's a shift. It's a literal shift that's happening right now.
Because I had been feeling like I could not believe that I particularly I just came through a move, and I was like, man, I moved a couple of years ago, and I was thinking the abilities had definitely declined because I could do a lot more a couple of years ago, but there is a lot that's coming, a lot that's changing, a lot that's flowing, and there's a lot that's being ministered right now.
Yes, there definitely is.
That would be Lisa sitting around the kitchen. Sitting in the kitchen with Grandma when she cooked. Yep, that'll be good.
Yeah. Everybody, they kind of laugh at me sometimes. They talk about how sometimes some of them might sound like aunties of theirs. person, she's not on here tonight, that calls me Granny Ma. But yeah, at least I think it's because of the energies that we're the outpouring of the spirit and spiritual power that we're experiencing. Just everybody just try to ride. I'm just like, not try, do, because the moment you try, you fail. So write it out and body. So
yeah,
for me, I saw Triple G, you just said that you were talking about fasting today. Eat a burrito. Now, I have stopped eating just to eat. So I only eat when I'm actually hungry.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't even a conscious decision.
It wasn't a conscious decision for me either. It just happened. We're drinking alkaline water because that's like much better for our bodies, are alkaline, right? I myself have pretty much cut out all red meat.
Oh yeah, well,
she did that a while. Yeah. I was always a steak girl.
Now, every so often I get a hankering for a burger, but that's about it. I'm not going to eat a steak or a roast, or if I'm in the mood, I will get a burger, but it's probably one every few months, and that was it.
Yeah. I love fish and chicken and stuff, so that's always, but and I don't know if Dre's still on here, but you know, between him and my Chris went vegan, and a few other people, it's really just, and I love veggies anyway, so it's just been really on my heart to start eating better, just and really taking care of myself. Because if I don't have the energy, like getting proper rest, doing all these things, important. And I will say, Lisa, as well, it's really going to be important for you to spend time alone with God, spend time alone with Creator, with Spirit. We're going to have some time together, but spend time alone and just you and Spirit, because that's really where you're going to rejuvenation time. Like start accepting the spiritual power that's coming to you and the love that's being infused in you as fuel. You know, really start looking at it as fuel. And if you're having a difficult time finding out who you are, or like you're like, who am I really? It's in those alone times that you get a clearer picture of what your life purpose is. Being alone does a lot. Being alone with Spirit does a lot. Being alone with God does it. That's healing time. That's purpose time. That's vision time. That's like, I mean, it's.
And you know, for a lot, and I don't know how you are, how you view life. A lot of times, honestly, people, we take ourselves way too seriously. I think seriously. I mean, come on, you know, you should be having fun. So being with God a lot of times is fun time for me as well. I mean, there's a playtime because when you get to know Him, He has got such an awesome sense of humor. He will just. He's just funny. And like I was praying about something the other day, and I was like, and please don't wait just before midnight to do this, okay? I mean, not this time. Because, you know, people always say, well, God's not ruled by time. And I know He's not ruled by time calendars. I got that. However, He is the King of 11:59. We all know that. I mean, He comes through, but it's the last minute. It is the last minute, and you'll be like, because by that time I'm ready to like go to plan B, which is my plan, because if you ain't doing something, I'm gonna do it right. And He knows me. He knows that. Just the other day, and oh wow, oh my goodness, and I was telling her I was looking for something packing to come on the trip, and it was very important, and I was going to have to rebuy it. Actually, it was a prescription that I take every day, and I was going to have to rebuy it, and it was too soon for insurance company to cover it, and last weekend, and now I'm packing for coming up here, and it's like I'm unpacking to pack enough to come up here for the rest of the year, basically. Torn apart every box and look through it 2 or 3 times. They cannot find the prescription, cannot find it. And finally, I just had resigned myself night before. I was like, okay, fine. When I get up, call and just pay for it out of pocket. I have no idea where it is. And that morning, I had to get up really early in the morning because of my ride had to take me there. And I'm putting on my coat. Talk about 11:59, right? I'm putting on my coat and I'm thinking, okay, I know I've got all this that I'm taking. Cases would be lighter when I come back because I'm giving this to this person and this. I was bringing stuff up here to give people, and that was my thought. I was thinking that, and at the same time, I walked over to my chest of drawers and I was moving things on my chest of drawers that would have had nothing to do with anything. It wouldn't have been related to coming up here. It wouldn't have been related to the prescription, nothing. And I'm thinking, moving things around, and the next thing I knew, I had my hand on the prescription.
He always shows up right on time. Everything is, everything is provided for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's manifestation, right? That's manifestation. Everything is provided for us. And he loves us enough to provide everything for us.
And I was ever so grateful. I mean, think about it, those of you who have kids, when you give your kids things, I mean, you're not doing this, you're the world's greatest parent. No, but you do appreciate it. When you've got a child who appreciates what you do, you tend to want to do more for that child because you know they appreciate. God, you were so good to me. Thank you.
So I want you all to hear this. I want you all to hear this a lot. Hello, you. Clearly, my mother is definitely like, she goes to church, like she is charismatic Christian. I have told you guys that's how I grew up. Like, we believe in all the gifts of the Spirit, the operation of the Spirit, everything, right? And she's talking about the same things, about having this attitude of gratitude, of being the very same things that I talk about, the very same things others of us talk about. It all is connected because it's all from It's all from one God. It's all from one creator. It's all from one spirit. We all flow from him. And that love and that power and our purpose, that unconditional love, is what is going to fuel us into the next level, at the next level of where we're going to be as far as walking spiritually. Because we have to. Those of us who love him have to.
Right.
We have to take our rightful places.
Right.
And set others free. And that's, again, I believe very strongly, a huge purpose, anything, as to why we went through the things we went through, which is still kind of difficult, she just said.
Yeah, I did.
It's still difficult, I know, to like grasp a hold of it. But for us to be able to take everything that happened, and that it didn't happen to us, it happened for us to fulfill the purpose and the plan. It happened for us to be able to be vessels full of infinite power. It happened for us to be able to set captives free. It happened for us to run on this earth and to usher in his move.
Do you want me to respond to that? I'm just asking because it's your show.
I might have to wolf line. You don't think that that's the case?
Here's the thing. I don't honestly. I know of God's love for us. I do not believe for a moment that it's his will that anybody be abused, because abuse of the purpose. Okay. I believe that he can take what happened to us and we can learn from it. But I don't honestly believe that that was his will. And I'm going to tell you that I don't know if I've ever told you this before, but before I married your father.
What are you about to tell me?
Before I married your father, The Lord loudly said to me not to marry him, and I thought it was just fear.
Oh.
I overrode that and followed with my will, because I had not been taught how to hear the voice of God. And so when I sure, oh, that must be me, just, but you know, the jitters and all that other stuff that people tell you that you have before you get married. And so then I overrode that, because, and then that I grew up in, you know, this is what you're supposed to do, you know, is you, all right, yeah, you know, pregnant, married. I mean, you get pregnant, you get married. But and so it wasn't like that, the days of single mom and all that, or being married, being a mom
without 50 years ago.
Thank you. It was not a common thing. And it's like, well, what else am I going to do? You know?
Right.
But, and I honestly believe that I loved him, and I honestly believe that he loved me, but neither of us at that point knew the definition. But I overrode what God even said to me. That wasn't the plan. I don't believe that was the plan that he had.
No, I don't. I guess I'm not saying that. What I am saying is we all have free will. He knew what you were going to do, whether or not it was the original plan or not.
And he tried to steer me from it.
And he tried, but he still knew you were going to do that anyway, right?
Yeah.
So the way thing is that in order to heal from it and begin to then apply it to your purpose, because your purpose doesn't change.
Right.
Then may have now more tools, because he's able to take that, repackage it, so it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. You're taking away from what happened.
You're just saying what I said in a different way.
In a different way.
Yeah.
See, we really do get along. It's really we really saying the same thing. Hello, Emily.
And I'm
yeah, I've heard of Gnosticism. Yep, I've heard of it. I think when Lady Rose said the same thing happened in your first marriage. So Emily, yep, heard of it. We're talking simply about the healing process, right? And I'm not gonna, this really conversation isn't one is right or another. We're not talking about Gnosticism or anything like that. Yes, it's super interesting, and there's actually some aspects and some Gnosticism that I find very interesting as just a different take or different understanding, but healing tonight.
And when we started out, you were talking about my process and how it started, and really and truly, and this is different. I believe anybody else's process is going to be different.
Yeah.
And so I think before I could ever look at even approaching forgiving myself, the Lord and I worked out first. Because that was so much in the forefront of my mind, I couldn't see anything else except my feelings, my memories, and all of it was focused around him and his evilness and meanness and his choices and all that. So for me, it was forgiving him and working on the forgiving of him. And it was a very much longer and a very protracted process for me to forgive myself.
Right.
And in the process of that, I became myself.
Right.
And I do remember taking care of, I stepped right out from that into taking care of my mother, and I was finishing college, and I'm on my own for the first time, and full-time job for the first time, and all this other stuff. Getting ready for work one morning and looking in the mirror, and I stopped and I started crying, and I said, "Thank you, Lord, to meet this woman."
That who you really were.
Yeah. I said, "I really like this lady. She's funny. But I enjoy being with her." So I was like stepping aside and looking, realizing that I saw myself blossom into a person in the process.
Yeah. And you really blossomed into the real you.
Yes.
Because what we have here, that's like the clothes we're wearing.
Exactly. It's our
It's
suit.
not the real us. And the real us is spirit. Spiritual man is the real us.
And I actually, in the process, as I got more mature in it, I got to the point, y'all, this is me. And I know there were times when my children would be like, oh, Lord, we don't know what's going to come out of mama's mouth. Well, guess what? Mama didn't know what was going to come out of her mouth. I surprised myself more than once. And so I had to get to the place that, look, this is me. This is where I am. This is who I am. If you're good with it, I'm good. It's nice knowing you. We'll talk again next Christmas or something. You know, I mean, I don't have to be around you and you don't have to be around, even if it was family. Because
right,
when you spend all those years being who somebody else wanted you to be, and you finally get free enough to be you,
right.
that to the T.
Yes.
I'm ready to go to war if you want me to be somebody
Yes.
else for a period of time, because that's just not who I
am. And
oh, ignored red flags too.
Yes.
But y'all ignored them flags. Hello.
But also, though, in that process, sometimes we can yes, there is accepting you for who you are and other people accepting you for who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to caution people to be very clearly who you are and not still just what you want to be. In other words,
right.
In other words, give you a license to like hurt other people.
Exactly.
In your process. And I kind of feel like if you end up hurting a lot of other people in your process, if you're doing something that's literally blown in a bad way,
right,
it's probably not really what you're supposed to be doing.
And it's not the real
or
you.
the way, and it's not the real you.
No.
Because the real you to do what's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
The real you is always going to do what's good for you, because the real you should be in contact. Remember, I said is way more important than this conversation.
But you know, I got to that place of this is who I am, and I got to that place of an outlook on life once I had already reached the place of loving people.
Yeah,
where they were.
Yes.
There you are, and you know what? I know you might have said that. You probably didn't intend to hurt me when you said it, and you know we're just gonna go on with it. And I have. In your healing process, you can help others go through that same thing, avoid some pitfalls, and maybe speed up their process.
Right.
And that's what I've done along the way, because I am not a mean person. I am not a my way or the highway kind of person. I mean, we'll talk about it. She and I were, I saw that. Oh, okay. I thought you was rolling your eyes. She and I worked on our relationship a lot. And there was and yet no connection, and both of us realized it wasn't working, and neither of us really knew why. And it was several years, and I wonder if I think you're going through the experience that you did and realizing about the narcissism, and then you were like, whoa, eyes wide open, look at the whole past view on it. We were able to actually build our relationship to an even higher level.
Yeah, but I had to heal too.
Yes, you did.
I had to heal, and I didn't even realize that I hadn't forgiven her.
Right. And she was looking for stuff from me, and I didn't know what she wanted. I was like, I don't have what am I supposed to be doing here? Honestly.
Yeah, but all I wanted you to do is just be mom.
Well, I was trying to be mom.
I know you were. So I had to learn to love.
Yeah.
She had to learn to love me where I was.
Yeah.
I had to learn to forgive her while she's learning to forgive herself. It was a mess. And there was I was like offended about. So I posted on my Facebook today or yesterday, which really caused a bit of a stir. And you get offended, it's actually a moment where you could pull back the curtain and look at your unhealed hurt. Take that moment and look at it when you get offended by something. So there were some things that happened in our relationship when I was a young woman, she didn't even know about. I'm mad at her about something she didn't even know I was mad at her about.
Nope.
No idea. And then later on, I said something to her about it. I said it the first time I said it was from a place of pain. Okay. It wasn't even a place of healing.
Right.
I'm just launching it at her because she hadn't finished her healing process. She's just like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. Like there could have been no healing in that. Neither one of us were at a place we could be healed. Mm-hmm. Or we could have like actually had a conversation.
Right.
We can now have conversations where I'm just like, or she can have conversations. She's like, I don't agree.
Well, that just happened on the way home. I went, really, that's one of those we're gonna have to agree and disagree on that one.
And we're good. Because we don't need each other now to complete the other.
Yeah.
We can now be in a relationship with one another as whole and healed people. Really, what I'm saying, what I titled this Healing to Your Purpose.
Okay.
As you become whole and healed on this process, you can finally step into your purpose. Mm-hmm. Because now you're not looking for validation from a human being. You've said you love yourself as you love your neighbor. So you honestly love yourself now. So you can honestly love your neighbor, and you can have with God that is beautiful and unconditional. Mm-hmm. And free.
You know what? And when I realized unconditional love, I mean, it was a phrase. It had no real deep meaning to me until later on in life. And I realized that there were times that I was God. Mm-hmm. And I told him I was mad. I'm not talking to you. I'm mad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we've talked about that. I've been very open about it.
He's like, he just waited and came back. You gonna talk to me now? Nope, I'm still mad. And I wouldn't talk to him. I turned on Judge Judy and turned it up louder so I would try not to hear him. I came back a few days later. And I said, okay. Well, he said, why are you mad? Well, because I did this, because I did all of this. Mm. And your part, no. And he said, Denise, if you hadn't done this, that, and the other, you wouldn't even be breathing now. It was because you that base, and I was able to move and keep you here on earth. Oh, I'm so sorry, Daddy. You know, and it was just, you just felt his love room to hug you kind of thing. But you know what? He loves you even when you're being that little brat and being, I mean, I call it a little brat because I'm get mad at God, right? So it's like, no. I did. But it's happened more than once. But you learn unconditional love. That means no matter what, he loved us. He loves them, these people, even though they might be cursing him and they might be doing all kinds of stuff. He still love. He can't do anything but it because he is love.
Right.
Love gives.
Always.
He's always giving.
Always.
And once you learn that, because I had to, during my healing process, that process of forgiving myself, it was like, okay, what's the greatest commandment? Well, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your mind and all your soul and all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. One time, and I heard, but you don't love yourself. And I went,
Right.
Then from that point on, I tacked on to the end of that, and
it is a choice.
And I made that choice.
Yeah. So, okay, we've been on for more than an hour. I'm so sorry, y'all.
How'd that happen?
She doesn't know. Y'all will hold me hostage for 3 hours. But we're not doing that today. Y'all not going to hold me for 3 hours. Now, you can hold her hostage for 3 hours, and I'm going to go to bed. And y'all can talk. I, on the other hand... I mean, you know, hey, it's here.
Yeah, it is.
It's plugged up. You know, I'll see y'all in the morning. Wow, there's a lot. I was trying to figure out how we could put this in a synopsis. We want to learn to love unconditionally. Everyone's like, keep her on. I'm about to go get my coffee.
You know, that's a choice that you make.
Loving unconditionally.
Yeah. when you the more into that love and into that relationship, the more of that feeling side get kind of dies. It becomes, and what's more important is that this person understands that they're loved. They're acting an idiot. Okay, I mean, who doesn't? We got plenty of idiots that cross our paths. We have to make choices every day. And through all my processes, particularly after coming out of the health one, I was like, we all get up every day with X amount of life energy units. It's kind of like playing games. I like playing games, and you know how you get X amount of life, you may get a life back and all of that. Well, we get up with X amount of life energy units every day. And I ask myself when I encounter something or quite unlovely, okay, is it worth me expending a life energy unit on this one, this thing, this event, whatever this is? And I go, nah. And I'm not even gonna let it take up real estate in my brain. It's not worth that.
Right.
So I'm just gonna yeah, you just darling, I don't know what's going on in your life. You know what that person could be dealing with. They just heard that either they or a loved one has cancer or something, whatever their reason for acting unlovely, that's between them and God. What's between me and God is how I treat that person.
Right.
And it's not their condition. There was a Facebook thread, a young man, he was telling men to be, that they need to step up and just be, gentlemen and respectful. And one of the first responders on the thread, he said, well, I would if I meet a respectful woman. And I'm not going to treat her like a lady until she proves like she's a lady. Okay, let me just watch how this goes. And I just was reading, and it was a long thread. I said, Lord, should I let this go? Can I actually respond to this? And he said, no, you can go ahead and respond. So I wrote in there, you act like a gentleman, depending on, because he's doing it conditionally. I said, I will always be a lady, whether you act like I'm not going to wait first to see whether or not you're a gentleman before I act like who I am, which is a lady. And by the way, your response really in the garden. He stood there, watched Eve eat of that apple, and when she didn't drop dead, he decided to go ahead and take a bite. So
the moral of the story. Hello, Alicia. He's alone and bitter. You're right, Tawanda. He's probably alone and bitter.
Yes, he is. Very bitter. He didn't respond to what I said.
Well, no.
Oh,
of course not.
The other thought it was a drop mic moment.
Yeah. So the point, though, to this is unconditional. So walking in unconditional love. I don't know. I think I told you I was writing.
It helps me a lot.
She extra says, life unit. Yeah. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
We're gonna have a lot of Mama Denise night that's gonna get carried through. But the point is just that I'm writing that book about unconditional love, or the love walk, and it is truly not, no matter what other people do or how they're acting, unconditional love no matter what.
Because they don't have to earn it.
Because they don't have to earn it.
All they have to do is receive it, because you're going to offer it.
But you know what? They don't even have to receive.
No. You're going to offer it whether they give
it or not.
Because this is what God is doing. He's loving the whole world, whether the whole world loves it or not. Yeah.
No matter if we take it or not.
Or if they receive it.
Right, but I can't worry about that.
No, you can't. And you can't let it stop you from doing it. Because that's who you are at this point.
Right. And that to me says, when we can walk in that unconditional love, that we have truly become in a union with God, because God is love. From Him, we are infinite, divine, small d, of the infinite and divine, big D. We came from. I came from my mom, so there are things about her that I'm very much alike. That I'm like, right? I'm her. This, so we share DNA, right? We share that, and we share a lot. And because of that, and that's the same way we're connected to God. He created us in his image and his likeness. We have that same love flowing through us. That's what it is love. Some of us just choose not to use it or walk in it, but it is love. When we reunite with him, infusion, constant infusion of
so
love.
really, I mean, we can't earn his love.
No.
And think about it. Do your children work at earning your love? No. You love them. Hopefully they love you. You realize that someone loves you unconditionally, you will do the things that you believe will please that person to be happy or whatever, but you're not working for them to love you.
Right.
That's the same thing in a relationship. If the two of you we're going to do things to please each other just because you love each other, not to try to make the person love you more, because then you're trying to earn or buy that love.
Right. Which is why when we get into these relationships, we have to work so hard for this person to like show us love. And they don't they're a bad person.
Right.
We can just be trying to work for them to show us love on a regular basis. Because a lot of us put on a mask, a whole different suit, because that's what we think that's the person we believe is lovable, because we haven't. So a lot of us are in relationships, or we try to get into relationships where we're really fake and we're trying to earn their love all the time, even if they're not asking us to have to earn it. We're trying to earn the love of everybody because we don't love ourselves.
Right.
Basically is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
We're trying to earn everybody's love
and if you're in a relationship where you feel like you've got to impress this person all the time, that ain't you gotta take another look at that one.
Right.
Because you need to be enough about yourself to know that you are enough.
Right.
The real you are enough. We're all in process. There's not one of us that's perfect. We're all in process. And as long as you don't park on the road of life, you will stay in process and you will continue to grow and hopefully become more satisfied with who you are and more able to give out who you are and still be replenished, because it's a constant giving or whatever.
Yes.
I know we were talking about the soul ties and things like that. That's another thing you need to look at. Cleansing your soul.
Oops.
Oh, not supposed to say that?
Oops.
Is that a wrong thing?
No, that one might have hurt a couple people's.
Will.
And you shouldn't be creating soul ties with certain folks, should we? Okay, we shouldn't. We're just gonna leave that alone for right now.
Yeah, there are just certain what if you when you give away in a relationship and you receive a part of that person, your soul is no longer whole. Some parts of other people's souls, and you've given away pieces of parts of yours. So you need to cleanse your soul on a regular basis to get rid of those pages of the books of somebody else's life and pull back your pages, because your book has got to be complete. So, tea time.
Oh boy.
Does this mean we can't get off now?
We're going that she keeping me hostage. Triple G, how do we cleanse our souls? Wow, honey. Oh boy. It's actually not that. Okay, first of all, Triple G, I don't think we're saying for sure she's not saying you specifically need to cleanse your soul. I think what we're talking about in this case is running around getting everybody's eggplants. And we shouldn't. And eggplants that don't belong to us. Indiscriminately.
That's a major way.
That's a huge way, but you can also Sid. She's like Sid the Science Kid. She got lots of questions. Oh Lordy, I said eggplants and here they all come.
Okay, so here's me because I recognize the soul tie deal, and I ain't even doing the eggplant thing. But anyways, I realize that we still encounter folks, and we still take on pieces and parts of other folks.
We do.
I have a prayer that I do where I'm like, I choose as an act of my will to release every piece of hatred, anger, whatever. I go down the whole list of unkindness, everything, any addiction of any kind. I loose that from my soul right now. And I ask you, Father, to just cleanse me of that right now. Now I call back the layers to other people. I receive and call back, and I bind. You know, they talk about binding and loosing in the Bible. It isn't just demons. You can loose the layers of your soul. Your layers back. I bind your love to my soul. I bind your kindness to my soul. I bind the things to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a binding and loosing process, and my soul is now cleansed, and because it's cleansed and the layers have come back, and I bound. Again, we're talking, I just thought about that because I talked about the layers of your soul like a book.
Mm-hmm.
A book is bound together. So you bind that back. My soul is whole. I would that you prosper and be in health.
I don't even know why I have this channel. I should have just.
Thank you for hosting. It was.
I do need a y'all. I miss them. But yes, so did y'all catch all that? Because I know we got diverted by the eggplant. Really?
Fixated with that?
Well, there's a bunch of single women, Mama.
Well, okay.
Well, some of us still are interested in the eggplant.
Oh, okay. That might be a problem for some of you then.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I might.
Me neither.
Well, you ain't even interested.
Nope.
So, well, like I said,
that takes a lot of units, and I'm not.
We're not going to talk about what I want to do with my life energy units right now. Y'all got me. This woman here. Now y'all got me talking about what I want to do with my life energy units. Let's bring it back. Look at her with a team.
It's not easy being green. I'm just telling you.
Right, Kermit. That ain't all right. But okay, wait, let's get back to the soul cleansing for a second.
I'll read the comments.
Read the comments, y'all. Y'all got my mama read about eggplants. Lord help us. Talking about our energy. Our energy. I do need a church bulletin. I need a fan. I need a. It's getting hot in the air. Y'all got me talking about eggplants with my mama. Anyway, listen now. We're going to leave the eggplants with it. I don't even know what Raina just said. Raina, vegetables. Really? All the vegetables.
Does Raina need a different session?
It need a long session.
Okay.
Raina might need both of us.
Okay.
She gonna need. Woo, boy.
Okay.
Wow, this went downhill real quick. Just went right off the cliff.
I'm glad I could help you.
Okay. Sid the Science Kid came back. Thank you. I am clutching my pearls. It's like, oh, Lord help us. Okay. You are with was really into sharing himself when young. Does that affect you? I think so.
Yeah.
is they've picked up all these different extraneous pieces and parts from other people and haven't cleansed themselves because they didn't. This is when I say all this baggage you're carrying around. It's not just your own wounds, it's other people's crap that you're picking up along the way. So to me, it's very important. Like I would say, you know, to make sure that your aura, your spirit is whole, right? Because if there's these little spots for.
See, Deanna said you.
Yes, yeah. I was saved by Triple D. Thank you. Thank you. When it's not whole and healed, there's areas for people to lock onto and to intertwine with you. Have like that spherical whole aura going on, or that whole like spherical, your whole person. There's nothing for anybody because I can't this. There's nothing for me to grab onto because it's enclosed and it's, you know, it's complete. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Triple G said anytime.
Well, I don't think any of us moved the house key.
Look on the counter on top of a. I'll be right back, y'all.
Whew. Get all your eggplant mess out. While she on. While she on.
The only key I saw was sitting. It was sitting. I saw it today.
I saw it today too. Sorry, y'all. We're looking for. You got it, baby. Deanna done type 50 million eggplants.
Hope you got it out of your system.
They're getting it out their system. They're getting it out their system. Lord help us. Okay. All right. So what else? She retracted. Tawanda, take the tantric off too. Take the tantric off. We're not talking about that either. I'm not trying to introduce my mother. Nothing. Raina, y'all gonna be on timeout. Y'all gonna be put on punishment. Okay. What other questions do we have? Before I let y'all know. Oh, look, we got 11 people and 11 likes. Woohoo. Yay. Yay. You was just lifting it up. Okay. All right. The point ran in her eye.
Moderate the moderators.
Yes, honey. Yeah. So all the people, Mama, with the blue that have the wrenches, those are moderators.
That's what I thought. You're out of control.
Yeah. Denise said y'all out of control, y'all. Y'all in trouble. Okay, this is a good one. Raina asks, do you still hold love for your father?
Okay. Love can be let me tell you this much. When I was in my 40s, during one of my quiet times with the Lord, I would call him Papa and I would call him Father, but I would never call him Daddy because that's what we call my father. And he said to me one day, "Me Daddy," and I said, "I can't do that. I have no warm fuzzies for Daddy. You know what that represents to me. I can't do that." So in the process of time, I started doing it. It took a long time, but I got warm fuzzies, and I can call my Heavenly Father Daddy. At this point, I do still say, for being my father, the only real father I will ever have, because my father passed on many years ago. There is no opportunity to ever have here on earth in my mind. Okay. I respect my father. I have forgiven my father. There is love for him, but not the kind of love where I've seen some people, even as adults, knowing that their father wrong, and they will defend him to the T because he's Daddy. I'm sorry, wrong is wrong. I don't care who it is. And my kids even know that.
Asking, have you gotten to the point where you can love? Because her father died years ago now.
Yes.
I was a baby, wasn't I?
Yes.
So 50 years ago. So 50 years later, opportunity to have any type of conversation or closure or anything. So do you have any love for him?
I have in that Father's Day, and this was the first and only time I felt led to call him and wish him a happy Father's Day. And we talked for a little bit on the phone.
Before he died.
Before he died. It was like 2 months before he died.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so grateful that I had that opportunity to do that. It was probably as much closure as I could ever have gotten with him. I don't think he and I could ever have sat down and talked about my childhood. That just coming from where he was at. I've come to the place where, and this is love, and I don't know if you can actually call it love, where I say that he did the best he could with what he had, because he grew up in times himself and went through a lot of crap beforehand. And so with what he had him, I think he always kept a roof over our heads. We had food on the table. But yeah, it was still a war zone. Knew how to live any other way. So yeah, again, I'm grateful that for what he did for. I've been allowed to actually grow through it. I can actually talk to other people who've gone through trauma. And yeah, those were building blocks, but I can correct that. And then like with you guys, I asked the Lord to make up the gap for what you were missing in your childhood, to fill in that hedge, because you did not have what I would consider a real funds. Do you know what I mean? I know you're talking about still as a grown woman looking for the Father's love. I know that your father ever really expressed love, because my father would say, well, basically he felt like loving his family was.
But that's what Dad used to say. But then as I got to be an adult, definitely he said that. At least he said it to me. I can't speak for anybody else, but he said it to me. I think what I was looking, I didn't even recognize the roots of what I was still when I met Terry. Okay. I didn't even recognize that that's what was going on. I honestly think it was because I missed my father so bad from being gone, that having this person who reminded me so, me too, was like having this person that reminded me so much of him. If I was somehow, I know this sounds so weird, but it was as if I could have him back.
Oh no, I understand that totally. So you had an opportunity to have a relationship as an adult, and
you never did.
And the person that she knew as an adult, I knew all those years while we were together. So that's as far as I've never. That's a very interesting question.
I kind of gets it. Well, she's interesting. She understands interesting. Tawanda was saying some people sometimes write letters. I don't know if you feel like you ever need to release anything else about this. Yeah, I think you're cool with it now.
Yeah.
Hello, Fresh Max. What's happening? And Fresh Max, I don't do trolls. So if you're in here to troll tonight, not having it. All right. We'll boot you. So if you're here for real, cool. If you're here to meddle and for it, please. Yeah. I don't want to waste my energy unit.
And then you're not going to take up real estate in my head.
It is, right? Yeah, I don't even.
You, girls get their identity of of who they are as a woman from their father, and boys get their identity as a man from their father. And if you have a father absent, even if he's physically present but absent, you don't have that ID. And you've got to figure out how to get it. So yeah, it is. And here's the deal. A lot of times when we're attracted to that, we do find someone who is very similar, and yet then we go, oh, this wasn't really what I wanted it to be.
But it could be a positive thing, right? If you had a good relationship with your father and you have a father, right? Then finding someone like your father is a good thing. I don't want people to like just disregard that. Right. If we're disregard, then yes, we're attracted to, either way it goes, we're attracted to people like our dads. Because this is the first person, this is the first man that's loved us as women. Men are attracted usually to women that are like their, or remind them a lot of their mothers, because this is the first woman that ever showed them. And our parents, whether they're together or not, show us how a relationship.
Nah.
Yes, they do.
Not how it should be.
But they teach us how a relationship should be. Not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that this is what we see. We mimic what we see.
Oh, okay. That's okay, because I took it another way.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We mimic what we see, and so we learn to be a wife from our mom.
Right.
And we be a wife from our father and our mother. We learn how to be treated by men by our mother, and we learn how to treat
men. Raina, I'm gonna tell you something I said for years and years and years as a child. I'll never have anybody like Daddy, and that's what I did, was like him. I wasn't an adult either when I chose him, so I've seen a lot of women who are adult age and they marry men like their father because they're still trying to fix their dad.
Yeah, they are.
And now they feel loved and better. He just would have been. He would have just been
a better person, right?
No.
So now Tawanda asked a very interesting question. What if you didn't have like grow up with your father? Was that Tawanda that asked in that? So
I saw that.
And that y'all got rid of it. I wish you hadn't, because I think this really was a Deanna. I don't know. What if you didn't have a dad? What does that say about who you pick? So my children, well, my older two for sure, their father was in their lives.
You took your own question down?
Okay, baby. I think it's a good question. If you want me to still answer, I can. If you want me to.
I know, Raina. So was my, well, I wouldn't say ever since. There was one since the word that he wasn't. So I'm sorry to hear that, because that's a whole nother level. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Somebody said my father was good in here, which is great. I'm always like, oh, there, Triple G. My dad was good. He was just fighting my husband. So it sounds like you did well in your choosing, and I'm happy for the two of you. I'm always happy for people who are happy. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
My father. Okay. It was a good question. It was a good question.
I'll answer it in a second if you want it.
Yeah.
Raina, or no?
No. Well, Raina has a different level of forgiving that she needs to do. It's more than what, I mean, it's right. So yeah.
Raina, I might hook you and my mom up too on Facebook a little bit, like I think that would be a good relationship to have, because relationship with her mom is a lot like what yours and mine was.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
So
my daughter's father's nothing like my father. I still had learning to do when I was with
yes, him. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Most definitely you did, honey. So, okay. Growing up without a father. So my eldest daughter is facing right now where, well, she's 29 now. So I've watched her over either choose not having a actual father of her father in her life, feeling the ultimate rejection. Now, this is if if your father was alive and just chose not to be involved. Different if your father young, because if your father died when you were young, you will gravitate towards whatever image to you by your mother and other relatives and what you create in your own brain. Now, if you didn't have, like my first ex-husband just chose not to be around, then there's a level of have to create this in my own brain. But now I got to get over the feeling of absolute rejection. Why wouldn't my life? Okay. I mean, absolute rejection. Both my daughter and my son, my eldest daughter and my son have had to deal with my youngest to a degree as well. But so now you've got absolute rejection you have to deal with. It's really a crapshoot who you choose. But because you may not have the best self-esteem, then you're probably most likely not going to choose somebody that's good for you, because you don't have enough self-esteem to think you're lovable. So you're not going to exactly love you. And then when somebody comes around or comes along that does truly love you, it's going to be very hard for you to stay in a relationship, because you're not going to feel like you deserve that love.
Or
you'll sabotage it. You'll end up sabotaging it
because you're going to believe there's no way that they
because
really love
you don't believe there's any. And I think that unhealed hurt period, you will sabotage the relationship that's the best for you, because you don't believe you deserve it. The person can't be for real.
When my parents divorced, I was, I think, 12, and he made it plain in the custody deal about getting the kids every other weekend that he didn't want to see us older three. He just wanted the younger two. So we had no more contact with him at that point, because he didn't want to be around us. He didn't want, and that point, I just look back and I say, more than likely because we witnessed so much of his abuse, he didn't want to have people around who knew what he was really. But still, I'm 12, and now all bets are off, because we went from thumb with all those rules to no rules at all. Mom had no discipline, and it was whatever.
She went from, it was stricter household, I'm sure where she came from, because it was a stricter time in life, and then goes to being grandpa, and then, which is weird for me to say because I've never met the man.
Right.
That's really hard for me to say. I usually refer to him as your dad, because I have.
You met him. You just don't remember. You were only 3 months old.
I got nothing. So it's really weird to see even. I didn't realize that till just now. So she went from that to now she's trying to make up for all the lost time. She's trying to live her own life, who she is.
No, you're right.
And she's trying to heal from all of the terror that she's been through. No idea is the 1960s, when you weren't single parent still. And a Caucasian woman that has mixed kids because grandpa was black.
Well, mostly Indian, but considered black.
So, yeah. So there's a whole. So in answer to your question, if there's no father, to me, it's very similar, because you still don't feel loved.
Yeah.
Depending upon the circumstances of why there wasn't a father there.
Right.
So that's what I think. That's what I've seen happen in people's lives. Yeah, it was difficult.
It was, and then I found out later. I mean, we were actually jealous of the younger two because they got to go be with daddy. And here, I mean, he was our tormentor. Why would we even want to be with them? But as kids, you still wanted to be loved.
Yes.
And so found out later in life, the younger two hated it, didn't want to go. He wasn't hitting them and stuff like that he did with us. But he was he yelled and you know, I mean, you know, quick to you know, you spill milk. Oh my goodness, this is terrible, like end of the world because you spilled milk. Um, and he's yelling, and they were scared to do stuff, and they every other weekend when they'd get packed up and go off. You know, here we sit watching them go off to be with daddy, and
yeah.
So yeah, that was. But then again, we did. You know, on one hand, we the other hand, we were glad not to have it in the house.
Yeah.
So it was, and for kids to have to figure that out. Oh my goodness.
At that age, it's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah. Whose parents die feel abandoned sometimes too. Oh yeah, I'm not diminishing that trauma at all, Tawanda. So and
right.
Took it that way because I definitely wasn't.
Right.
I was just simply talking about it just because from the perspective that I can talk. I was just talking about that from that perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have anybody else have any other questions? Because now hours.
Oh my, how did that happen?
Yeah, it is a different type of.
Yeah.
That's a whole. Oof.
And you can feel abandoned and angry at that person, even though there's no logic. You're sleepy? All right. We're gonna let Heather go to bed.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Yes.
Your mom passed at 15. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. Triple G, you're funny. Thank you.
She's so sweet. Okay, guys. We're going to go.
For real and for true this time.
Yeah, honestly, we're honestly going to go this time.
But you do know we're just all right. We said goodbye.
No, we're not. This is like Black church, right? I tell you guys all the time. Getting off my Black church. You know, the organ's over there playing, and you know, the pastor has said I'm about to close.
Well.
Right. Chords now. We got the chords. No. We ain't got that far yet. We just starting. It's just raring up. It's just getting to get tomorrow night.
Wait. Yeah. Oh, this is Thursday.
Yeah, I know. You're like leaving me.
Oh, unless you can you bring me in on this?
We have created a monster. Yeah, I can actually do this tomorrow night but tomorrow night, we're gonna be talking about your twin flame theory.
Oh, I don't know, because I'll be with the younger grandkids tomorrow night. That may not be a good idea.
That bad.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? I have to be quiet if I'm over there with them because they'll be in bed by then.
Oh, that's no fun.
That's no fun.
No, you guys, I went ahead and got I had got Zoom webinars. That's what I did with Dre the last time. And so that actually turned out better. What Deanna say?
You're talking about my lap.
And so we're gonna talk about, oh hey Miss Townsend, how you doing, baby? We're gonna talk about twin flame theory. I was gonna try to record a video tonight. I'm not sure that's now going to happen. Tomorrow. It's not your fault. Okay. I might put one up tomorrow. No, I was gonna put the video up and then do the live later.
Okay.
If we can get her in, we'll get you in. But we're gonna be talking about this here twin flame theory, you guys. Flame signs, and I'm not.
Well.
I
cringe
it
with
might
that word.
be. It might.
I know twin flames people can use together on that one, but
well. We're about to end up here for another hour.
Well, let me go get some more tea then. Oh.
That you like this. I'm gonna say twin flame because of people look. I want people to watch it, but this really goes for your anything like that, because I think that the people sometimes we think are who we're supposed to be with, we're not supposed to be with their person, and they really are diverting us from our purpose, and they're keeping us from growing we should be growing to, because we're still too busy thinking or feeling, emoting below the waist. Just saying. And you can't get to a higher level of consciousness. You can't operate out of your higher chakra system, so to speak, if you still operating out of your lower areas.
Oh, Lord.
What?
Heather, if you're that tired, baby, go on to bed.
Baby, go to bed. She steady talking about she tired.
Yeah, but you see what she just put up there.
More eggplants.
Yeah.
I missed a lot of it.
On soulmates, because soulmates come many different packages, family, friends, lovers, etc.
That they soul family. I mean, I do believe there's a soul family. There's romantic soulmates, and there's other types of soulmates.
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah. I totally agree.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All of them got to work together. For JJ chakras, yes, your sacrals. See, here you go. Back to the eggplants. Just for Heather.
She's a moderator.
You see what y'all?
Well, let me see if someone will tell you a question. No, right.
No, I'm not going to talk about that. No, we're not. She wants me to talk about something that I'm not talking about with my mom.
Okay, so just don't push her. Because if she don't want to talk about it with me, then y'all don't want to hear what I got said ahead of time.
Oh, that's right. Let me tell y'all, that's not a conversation you want to have with Denise. No, right now. She is very much no sex before marriage. Let me just put that out. That's how y'all.
Now you know.
Now you know. So I'm just telling y'all straight up. Ain't no point even going there. And I'm definitely not going to talk about that. My eyes, it's my mama eyes. Hey. All right. Well, that's what we next week. Oh Lord have mercy. Okay, Heather. I'm media out of Heather next week. Cause my man coming to town. I might need a stand-in because Heather's going to be indisposed. I'm gonna be able to hear. I won't hear from her. We won't hear from Heather for a whole week. Let it go. We will be rebuked.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right there, D. Yeah,
and Heather,
y'all about to see some exorcism go on.
Heather,
it's like,
My mama's gonna go cash that. Y'all stop now. I'm not trying to go there tonight, y'all. Give it away her life units. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna let y'all.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let y'all go.
Y'all need some rest. Trust me. Comments. Y'all need to just go on and get some sleep. So you notice I carefully avoided the word "go to bed." Right? I go.
So listen up, y'all. I'm gonna make this here thing unlisted, so y'all that have the link to it that have been here will be able to get. Because it's a 2-hour video, and I don't know how many people really gonna. Wow. Okay. Well, we're gonna figure out how to get my mama back on here. You know, that's the beauty of technology. She could be here or in Dallas or Fort Worth. Excuse me, Fort Worth. Raina, you know what?
A Marvin Gaye. Yeah, I like Marvin Gaye music.
You don't know what
thing. We ain't talking about the same thing.
Nah, my mama.
You be editing this tomorrow, Heather. You will be.
My mama might be celibate, but she ain't dead. And don't forget, she grew up with Marvin Gaye, so you know she knows all about.
We're gonna sprinkle the holy water on everyone right now.
Well, there's nothing wrong with sharing Marvin Gaye music if you're married, right, Mama?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that right. I gotta say what I'm supposed to say right now.
You got it in the right order now.
Oh. Nah, be nice. Nah, I'm for reals on that one. Now we gonna respect my mama.
Yeah, Triple G, we are crazy and it's okay. I embrace it. That's who I am. So it's okay. I had my granddaughter's been diagnosed under one of my granddaughters autism spectrum.
Oh, so who's diagnosed?
When she was 12, she said, "Grandma, you're silly. You know that?" I said, "Yeah." She went, she said, I'm like, "Yeah, I know it. I mean, you know, it ain't news to me, but you recognize it."
She's just who she is. This is from. This is where I get this from. Lee says, "I feel like I'm about to open up a whole new world of stuff thanks to Google." Oh, Lord. Lee, what is you looking up? Put the Google down. Put down the Google. How's this? Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is what they do to me.
Win.
This is what they do to me.
Heather got a second one.
Oh,
no. There's going to be a part 1, 2, and 3. I need to get some more tea.
Not sleepy anymore. Oh, my God. Lee, girl, look. Lee's married, so she could do that. Lee, you didn't know about that?
I was married a long time
ago. See, now, y'all. Okay, look. They're talking about this here thing called tantric. And it's really not like intercourse per se, but it's really the coming together of two people energetically. It's about touching and transference of energy and connecting two souls, so that it is about act.
In other words, you mean lust instead of actually...
No. Oh. You can share tantric in between two married people.
But the purpose is?
The purpose is to get deeper connected soul to soul.
Well, if you're married, you're supposed to be working on that.
Well, this is a way through physical touch.
Right. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Okay. but it goes a little deeper than all that. One deeper.
Okay.
That was the
where the refreshments at. First in the spoon of grape. No, thank you. I don't think I want to look. She didn't want to explain it, and most of y'all know what it is already. And so, if she didn't want to explain it, even though y'all know, I don't think I want to know. I'm good.
Look, I'm 50 to tell my mama what tantric was. So
yeah,
that's
y'all
the
be putting new names on old stuff. Ain't nothing new under the sun. I
don't. Eastern religion based, Mom. That's why I'm saying I don't think you might flow with that. I'm just gonna let that be.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that book.
Chapter number.
Ooh, that book. Yeah, it probably will.
Yes, Lord.
Ancient Tawanda. We're gonna leave that alone now. Raina, what is y'all talking about?
Y'all make me pray for you in a second.
They need it. Walk away.
Yeah.
What is y'all talking about? Y'all get your mind out the darn gutter. You right, these eyes, y'all is really Kool-Aid with the sherbet. Now that's what I want to talk about. We'll be talking about Kool-Aid with the sherbet. That is some good stuff. Kool-Aid with sherbet. I ain't done that in a long time.
I never even heard. Well, how did you mess up perfectly good sugar with sherbet with Kool-Aid?
Well, you might not have any soda in the house to make you a little. You got to do what you got to do.
You mean you mix the Kool-Aid and put sherbet in it?
You can.
Or do you spread the sherbet and stir it up?
You can do that either too.
Lord help us all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been around for over 5,000 years now.
Tantric. We're back on tantric. Okay. Right. But she married, so I'm gonna let that slide. But can we just leave it? Okay.
That's a good drink. Okay.
It is a good drink. You could put alcohol on things.
See, I ain't surprised you said that.
Yeah. The situation number 4.
Yeah, see, I'm with you, Raina. How do you do it?
You put a little grain alcohol in it, you could do anything.
Well, you put alcohol in it, so
grain alcohol is Everclear, Mama.
I don't care what it is. It's still alcohol. It's stinky and it burns. And I ain't killing none of this alcohol.
I don't know that alcohol kills your brain cells.
Well, trust me, it does.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
This one I know.
Okay. Yes.
Hawaiian punch in a bowl.
That's right. There you go. The punch
Hawaiian punch is played. Black church refreshment juice. Yes. Yes, we did too, and it was a treat then.
It sure was.
So was good, but you know.
I got some graham crackers in there. I still eat graham crackers and milk.
Lord.
I sure do, and peanut butter and jelly.
You have you tried peanut butter on graham crackers? That's good.
I haven't tried that.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Who? Right.
How do we go? It was an easy jump, Heather. It was easy. Oh no. Well, that's not what we're talking about right now.
Well, I diverted the entire conversation from one to the other. I 2 lanes on the highway, turned the car around, and came up the back way. I pulled a move on that one too. Pulled a move. You don't have peanut butter?
No.
Yeah, I've never done peanut butter and graham crackers. So we'll try that.
Yeah.
Not tonight, though. But my head hurt.
Oh, you didn't eat.
I
Right.
didn't eat.
All right.
Okay,
Donna
y'all.
needs to eat.
I got to go now. The hostage situation over.
You know what? I caught it, Twanda, but I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to let it slide. And I figured it might register a little bit later. It's
what?
Okay. You just did a Freudian slip.
What did I say?
Mm.
I don't even know what I said.
Reround failed. You need to play it back and listen to what you
What
said.
did I say?
Turned it around and carried it back way. If their mind's already in the gutter, what do you think they did with that?
That wasn't no 40.
Well, to them it was.
My mind was in the gutter. That wasn't even 40 slip. That was not my fault. Oh, no.
I heard her say it. I went, I know how they heard that. I know.
I did not mean it like that.
Get y'all into your higher self all night long. Y'all keep slipping back down.
Way down, ain't it, Ma?
I know.
All the way down the hill.
Oh.
Y'all's terrible. Stop pretending I'm sleepy. I ain't
too.
pretending. I'm hungry. Now you got her co-signing. Y'all.
Everybody heard it but you.
Because I didn't say it that way.
But when it came out, I went, oh, Lord, she just said that. And these folks here can't get their minds off them egg. They're going to think with that one.
Ooh.
Right.
Okay.
Sprinkling holy water. Holy water on you.
You need to get a hose. Right.
Lisa, get out with y'all.
You need a hose. Don't sprinkle. A whole hose. A fire hose.
Oh, maybe me call the host out here to clear out the atmosphere.
I don't know why y'all even try this, but
I think tomorrow I need if I'm coming back tomorrow, next time I come on here, I need to bring that soul cleansing prayer. Y'all need to cleanse some of this junk out.
Ma,
what? No, I'm not gonna make the retreat. I'm sorry about that.
No, she'll be back in Texas.
Yeah.
The whole house. Yeah, she just said the whole thing. The whole thing, y'all. All right. Raina, I don't think now I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all think y'all want my mama.
Oh.
Cause see, she will. She don't pull no punches. So, I mean, we would. I mean, it'd be wonderful. But I think y'all ready for her yet?
Oh, she gonna say, "Let me help." Okay.
Oh,
Good
yes.
Night. Good night, D.
Oh, wait. She wanna. Okay. Oh, so Triple G, you're gonna rewatch it. So that prayer was probably for. That might have been hostage situation number 2. I'm not sure.
That really wasn't even the whole prayer. It was just kind of general outline of it. How much time we got? I can grab it and do it right now. It's only going to take like 5 minutes to go through.
Right, but then I got to go through and edit this out. We'll figure out how to get it recorded.
Okay.
We'll record it, Triple G. We'll put it up. I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. All right, guys.
Love you guys. It was so nice meeting you. Happy time. Happy time. Everybody sleep.
Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Maybe not.
All right, we're going to do like outtakes now, so we actually start talking.
No. So what happens when we have it? It finally ended.
Did it really? Real and for true?
No.